Okay, this video is a continuation of my series on what is a container app. And a container app has single app target. It contains multiple apps through in-app purchases. It has multiple app experiences and behaviors that are available through in-app purchases. And it can have multiple app names. And this video is going to be about multiple app icons per in-app purchase. So if you want to find out about the other attributes of a container app, check out the other videos in this series. This is Larry Ricker at larryricker.com, and after you implement the techniques in this video, you can have multiple icons on your app, and if you ask the user for permission and they click the OK button, the icon on the hard disk will change for the application. Two examples are shown here: the student organizer icon and the class organizer icon. If you like this video, click on the like button below and you can subscribe to my channel. Check out my apps in the Apple App Store. They include Project Organizer, which is a free version of an application that can help you with small teams and large projects or working individually. And then there's the Pro version of that, Project Organizer Pro, which has no restrictions on the number of projects and it removes the advertising. Then there's Student Organizer Pro, which is good for a student in either any level of school to organize their homework assignments and keep track of their labs and take notes in class. And then there's the Class Organizer Pro, which is the free version, or I'm sorry, the paid version of that application, which allows you to have unlimited number of classes and it eliminates the advertising. Then there's the Opportunity Organizer, which allows you to help sort out and order your job search and keep track of all the opportunities that you've submitted on and to make sure you don't double submit on any job opportunities. Then there's Opportunity Organizer Pro, the paid version, and that lets you have unlimited job opportunities and it eliminates the advertising. And then there's Job Hunt, which has a similar behavior to Opportunity Organizer, and it can exchange files freely with Opportunity Organizer. And also Job Hunt Pro, which also eliminates advertising. Okay, so we have the Project Organizer app. Now I'm going to restore in-app purchases using one of my test IDs.
It's 6 o'clock.
Okay, so it registered the purchase. network latency and all. Okay, so what happens is it pops up with this app icon. It allows you to change it. It always asks you change the icon. You can't do it without the user's consent. Then you change it, and what that does is it changes the app icon on the computer. So I've got all these in-app purchases. They all have different icons. I want them all to work. So that's the first one. It does work. So if we can open it up this way. Okay, at least opens. Let's see if we've got our icon files. Primary icon. Icon file. App icon PO. Okay. CF bundle. Okay, there's a bunch of them. Notebook. Class OP. Class O. Opportunity. Okay, let's look at the resources directory. Got opportunity. We've got class OP, class OP, class O. Okay, I'm going to compare this. Compare this to the web page. Okay, so it has the CF bundle, alternate icons, dictionary, key, dictionary, key, dictionary, end of dictionary. It looks like it's nested properly. That just has 2 in the example. Okay. Let's give this a run. Okay, so there's the Project Organizer app right here. You can see it has the clock, which is the app icon PO. CF bundle icon files. So we get the primary bundle CF button icon files, string icon 1, key pre-render. Yeah, that kind of matches. Okay, so this is running as Class Organizer Pro. It's not Student Organizer Pro. Okay, it is Class Organizer Pro. It's not currently sent to Class Organizer Pro. Now, to demonstrate the second one, which is not working, I'm going to repeat the same steps. First I'll stop the app. It looks like it's already stopped. Okay, I'll delete the app. Go back to the App Store, log out. Okay, we're not in a user ID in the App Store. Okay, so we'll repeat the test. Okay, so now the app is running again as Project Organizer with a Project Organizer Pro upgrade. So I'll repeat the in-app, actually I'm going to restore purchases. This time I'm going to use an ID that has purchased Class Organizer Pro, because I want to upgrade to the Class Organizer Pro app icon. Alright, so it's upgraded to Class Organizer Pro. So if we go back to the main screen, it should run through this code again. I didn't see this error before. This might actually be helpful. File does not exist. Icon not found in CF bundle alternate icons entry. Icon name. Okay, so alternate icons entry. So it's saying that my XML file is wrong, which is essentially my project organizer info plist. Kind of makes me wonder if it's picking up this one. This is my localized version. but this is my original one. It'd be easy enough to add it and try it out. CF bundle icon, CF alternate icons, SO. This one doesn't contain that one. So I would have to add an entry. And then I would have to, this one's not a dictionary. That needs to be a dictionary. And then this can, well, let's still get rid of that. Okay, so now that that's a dictionary, I can add a row. Okay, now I got a sub-entry. Gotcha. So simple. CF bundle icon files. That needs to be an array. And then under that, we'll add a sub-item. Good, now we're getting somewhere. Now we'll add our file name, which is class. Sure we will. That's a string. Class OP. Then we need this pre-render icon boolean underneath on the same level as this one. If that one works, we'll leave it as no, even though one of the tutorials left it as yes. Okay, let's see if it's picking it up from here. I just don't know. So right now the icon is this one right here, project, it's the clock. The goal is to change it into a notebook, which would look like, sort of like this one up here. Okay, this is a very familiar error. It was canceled. I'm going to repeat it. It's Class Organizer Pro app. Let's go through here. So this is a guard statement. It prevents it from repeatedly changing the icon over and over again. So it's not changed, so it's going to continue. And then it'll try to change it again, which it did. Nice. Okay. So this is the error, again, asking the user for permissions to change the icon. And when we go back out to disk, we'll see the icon has changed. So we've tested 2 of them. It's obviously picking up the other file. So I need to add another one. So we deleted and reinstalled the app. Now I'm going to test it with restoring the purchases with the test ID that's purchased Opportunity Organizer Pro. Okay, now the app is Opportunity Organizer Pro. So when I go back to the main screen, it should trigger the app icon change. Or crash. Alright, but that wasn't a crash of the app, that was a crash of the Xcode debugger. Doesn't affect the behavior of the app. The app is changing the icon, but it appears to be the wrong icon. Let's check. Yes, it is indeed the wrong icon. Okay, let's check a few things here. First, we'll check the info plist file. We're looking for the Opportunity Organizer Pro, and that's Opportunity Pro, OOP. Now we'll go to the code. And it's in the paid version. That's the free version, this is the paid. Appears to be correct. Let's put some debugging in here. Seems to be picking up the OO, not the OOP. Let's check the app icon. It's the gold version. Gold. Let's check the free version. And that's Opportunity Organizer. Okay, let's check the debugging statements. Oh, debugger crashed. Okay. Maybe this ID didn't purchase it yet. I'm going to try a different ID. And it's appearing that it has purchased it. It's saying that it did purchase it. It's going through this logic over and over again. It's not hitting the guard, so it's not saying that it's hitting this code. Okay. Now it is working. It's changing the icon to the gold. It didn't do anything different. We just repeated the same test, and now it's the gold app. Exact same behavior, different results. Okay. It had purchased the other app as well. The free version was purchased by that ID and the paid version, so maybe it does change the icon twice. Very interesting behavior. Okay, I'm going to log out of the App Store for the next test. I'm going to test the Project Organizer Pro version. Sign out. Reinstall the app. Okay, I'm going to restore. This is the free version, the container. Restore purchases with a test ID that's purchased the Project Organizer Pro. Okay, now this is the Pro version. Okay, now when I return to the main screen, it's going to hit the logic that changes the app icon. And now this is the clock post, but it's the clock post with the sunset, which is the page version of the icon. If I go to disk, the icon on disk is now changed, and it's the Pro version. While I was reviewing the videotape from the last section, I noticed that the opportunity was misspelled in the plist file. So let's fix that first and retest that. So we want the project organizer plist file. There's two of them here. And the reason there's two of them is because there's a defect, in my opinion, when you localize the plist file and convert it to all the available languages that you want to localize for. It deletes it from the bundle, and it's listed here on the General tab, right here as the identity here. And what will happen is it'll delete that element and it won't even be there. So you'll have to import it again into the project from the file system by doing file add files to your app, and it'll list a second file here, and then you do a find here and you find it, and that allows the configuration to work here, but it doesn't seem to work with the internationalized version. I don't know when they'll fix that, but that's the reason I have two of them. So this one's the one for this configuration. This one's for the configuration of the internationalization and allowing it to have different file names in different markets and different languages. So that allows you to have one bundle ID, but the bundle display name can be localized for each environment. So here's opportunity, and I missed it on the last video. This is misspelled, and it won't work if you have any misspellings. So that was this issue right here. So I'm going to mark that one as fixed. And then let's give it a test. I could mark it to test and then mark it as fixed after that. I do that sometimes, particularly for complex issues, but let's see how this goes. So first of all, let's look at what kind of icon we have built. Okay, it's Project Organizer with the Class Organizer icon right now. So I'm going to change that. That's the Class Organizer Pro version because it's got the gold rim. So now I'm going to build the app again. because I have to build it to install this Plist file as part of the app, and then I'll run another test. Look like the icon changed, so what we'll do is we'll wait for it to launch. I guess we're going to test this guard statement here. That should just return and not update the icon again. I'm just going to play it. Okay, so it didn't try to change the icon a second time because this was already set. So now what I'm going to do for the next test, now that we've got the new app installed, I'm going to switch it back to Opportunity Organizer Pro. No, actually, sorry, Opportunity Organizer, and then I should switch the icon to the Opportunity Organizer. So the way we do that is we don't have to delete it. We go to the Settings tab. Well, first I have to log out of the App Store. And we're out. Okay, good. So now it's Class Organizer Pro. I'm going to switch it. So I'm going to do Restore Purchases. Then I'm going to use a testing ID that has Opportunity Organizer. You have to not now on this message a few times. Let me go back out of here. Okay, this is stopped on this here. Okay, now I'll go to the Settings tab. Still Class Organizer. I want it to be Opportunity Organizer. Doesn't seem to want to downgrade it by switching the test ID, so that may be a feature of Apple. So let's try deleting the icon. I guess it would kind of make sense if you purchase something and you switch IDs, you don't get downgraded just because you switched IDs. That way you can keep all your in-app purchases from multiple IDs. So now we got the basic app. Now I'm going to restore purchases. Okay, so now we're in the Opportunity Organizer, so that worked. So if you've made a in-app purchase that costs money, and then you need to test an in-app purchase that's free for the same app, it's not going to downgrade you. It'll keep the in-app purchase for the paid app, which kind of makes sense. So you have to delete the app in order to downgrade. So now we're downgraded. So let's go to the main screen here. When we get here, it should trigger our code, which it did, and it's asking me to change my icon, which is exactly what I expected. And now I'll go to the main screen, and now Project Organizer has the new icon. Good. So what have we covered? We've done Class Organizer Pro, Class Organizer. We've done the Project Organizer icon and the Opportunity Organizer icon. Now I need to do the Opportunity Organizer Pro version, and I need to do the Project Organizer Pro version. And I haven't tested the Class Organizer free version yet. So let's see. I think I have the Class Organizer free version icons. They're PNG files. Okay, yes, I have the Class Organizer free version. So let's do that one next, and then I'll have to create the icons for the Opportunity Organizer Pro and the Project Organizer Pro versions. So first, Class Organizer free version. So for that one, I have to go into my free main controller, and I have to modify that, and it has to be modified. It has to make the change of icon prior to first viewing the app. So that's the view will appear method, and I have to add the logic for Class Organizer free version. So I'll just I'm gonna blow this out a little bit. Let's see how can we do that. This and this. Now you can see. So I'm going to copy this block of code, make a copy of it, and put another copy right below it, and modify it for Class Organizer. Now we have to think about our priorities. So our priorities are Project Organizer, Project Opportunity Organizer, Student Organizer, then Class Organizer. And then of our free apps, we have only the Opportunity Organizer and then the Class Organizer. So and then Project Organizer is the third. So Opportunity Organizer takes precedence over Class Organizer. So I need to give priority to Opportunity Organizer and secondary to Class Organizer. So it doesn't make sense actually to repeat all this code. What we should do instead is Opportunity Organizers here. We should put Class Organizer because all these tests will be the same. It'll be to test to see what version of iOS we have. That's going to be the same regardless. So we'll just copy this block inside of here. And this whole changing icon is not going to work on prior to iOS 10. So I have an iPad 2 that runs iOS 9. I can't test this. I could test most of this code, but for iOS 9, this functionality wasn't introduced yet, so you can't do that. So what I'm going to do is do an else if here, and that'll make sure that it doesn't act like Sybil, and it'll have first Opportunity Organizer and then Class Organizer. But if both have been purchased, it's going to behave like Opportunity Organizer. Okay, that's good. So now we have to do the second part of this, which is to modify the plist file. And it's not going to be the localized version, it will be this one right here. And we're looking for this section with the icons. Then we've got the primary icon here, which is clock post. And then we've got the secondary icons. So this one's going to be CO. So what I do is I click here, and I'll do a plus. We're going to do an app icon-co, class organizer, not class organizer pro. Have to change that to a dictionary. Create a sub-element called CF bundle icon files. That has to be an array. Then we'll click and create a sub-element. It has to be a string. And the name of the file is going to be class O. And we have one called class OP. But hopefully this will all disambiguate fine and we won't have any problems. And then we need another element in here called the UI render icon. And I see there isn't one for app icon 00. That was missing. So we'll have to add one up there too. We want to go to here, hit the plus, and then we're going to add the UI pre-render icon. It's a Boolean, and we'll leave it no. And because we omitted one here, we'll create one here also. Boolean. We can leave it no. Okay, now I guess we're ready to test. So this is equal, so it's going to be a free app versus a free app. So I may not have to delete the app. So let's just run it. That'll copy the plist onto the device. Launch the app. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to log out of the App Store. I should say sign out, but it means the same thing to me in English. Okay, so now we're logged out. So now what I'm going to do is restore purchases. It's going to ask me for an ID, and I'll give it a test ID that only has class organizer. And again, you create these test IDs under your developer account, under users and roles. We'll delete it. That'll wipe out all the in-app purchases, and we can start the test over.
It's 1 o'clock.
So we'll rebuild it. Okay, I'm going to restore purchases. Let's see what ID we're logged in as. That's the one I want. Okay, let's try the restore purchases again. Sometimes there's a network connection problem. And there we go. Now we are changing to the class organizer icon, and it has the white edging on the side of the book, which makes it the free version. Then if we go to the disk, you can see that the free version is there. So I've tested the project organizer icon, class organizer icon, opportunity organizer icon, class organizer pro icon, student organizer pro icon. Now I just have to do the opportunity organizer pro icon and the project organizer pro icon. So those two icons are remaining. So I'm going to go into, I have to create those icons. I have them created, but I'm going to have to create them in the right size. So for that, I'm going to use a new app called GIMP that I haven't done a video on before. And that's because they're just, they're not vector graphics. They're just, I believe it's called raster graphics. Just basic images made out of pixels. So I'll open up the base file. And I want the clock post I want the sunset clock, and I'm going to call it clock post sunset. This is the image, and I need two files. I could create a 1x, which would be 60 by 60, but I need a 120 by 120 and a 180 by 180, and they have to have very specific names. So I will, well, it can be named whatever you want, but you have to make sure that you're using the correct names. So what we do is export. But before we export, I'm going to create a new directory. Called Project Organizer Pro. And I'm going to create an icon directory. And then in my icon directory, yeah, I could save this. That's fine. Sometimes this gets hung up, so you just hit the Enter key and it'll get going. So I'm going to go to the largest file size first, and then downgrade from there. So let's do image, scale image. I'm going to make it 180 by 180. It'll automatically switch both axes, X and Y. So that's the new size icon. Do file export. Now I need this to be a very specific name. It needs to be clock post sunset 3x. No, that's not quite right. It's at 3x. That's what I was missing. It's going to have an at 3x. Okay. That's the 180 by 180. Now, time it worked. Insanity's doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. Okay, and then we're going to do an image scale image. This time we're going to go by 120 by 120 for the 2x image. It's a little smaller. And that's going to have the same name, clock, post, sunset, but it's going to be 2x. And this time it doesn't work. So hit the enter key on the keyboard, and then it'll work. Now we should have 3 files there. Okay, these are the 2 files. We're going to add these to the project inside the resources directory. But let me do the other icon that we need, which is the Opportunity Organizer Pro. I'm not going to save this because I like it being saved as a larger file. Let me check on that file. Okay, there it is. Just have to locate it. So this is the same icon except it's got gold background. So we'll just create those 2 missing files. First I'm going to export it at this size. And I'll put it in a new directory. Try to get our spelling right. And I'm going to call it 1024x 1024. And I'm going to do a file save as. Put the XCF file in that same directory. Okay, now I'm going to export it. So I want to image resize it. Scale it down to 180 by 180 for the larger icon, the 3x icon. File export. Now I need the name to be Opportunity Pro at 3x 180, going into the same directory. It worked that time. Okay, then we'll do an image, scale it down to 120 by 120, little smaller icon, export as, same name, 2x. It worked that time. Okay, I'm going to close this, but I'm not going to save it because I want it saved as a larger file. We're done with GIMP. Okay, back inside of Xcode, I have to import these files. We're going to put them in this resources directory. We do File, Add Files, and now I want to add the files from the directory where I just created them. We'll do the Opportunity Organizer Pro. It's top of list. Select the 2 files. Choose Options. You want to put it into this target, Project Organizer. And I probably want it to be an Opportunity Organizer also. Just for future use. And we check the box for copy items if needed. That'll move a copy over into the resources folder. This can take a little bit of time. I don't know why. Then we'll add the other two files, which are the Pro version of the clock post for the Project Organizer Pro version. We'll go to that directory where they are saved. And I want these two images. You can hold down the Shift key to select both and click on the second. Choose Options. Put it into Project Organizer. And this one I'm going to also put in Project Organizer Pro. Copy items if needed is checked. This can take a while. And there they are. Okay, they're in place. Next step, I have to do the code. So for this one, I'm going to the Project Organizer Master View Controller because these are both icons for the paid version. So we currently have logic for the Student Organizer Pro and the Class Organizer Pro. But I need to do the same refactor on this code to match the precedence of my apps. So it's going to be, first precedence is Project Organizer Pro, because that's $4.99, then Opportunity Organizer Pro, which is $3.99, and then Student Organizer Pro, which is like $2.99, and then the Class Organizer is $1.99. So those are the preferences. So it's going to be Project Organizer, Opportunity Organizer, Student Organizer, and the Class Organizer. So I have to make sure the if-else logic reflects that so that we do not get the behavior of civil. So first one is Class Organizer here, and that's the lowest precedence. So let's take the Class Organizer logic. I'm going to put that right below the Student Organizer. That's good. And then I'm going to put an else if on that so that we don't have the behavior of two apps. Very good. Then we'll go up here, and this Student Organizer Pro is going to be an else if also. And then we're going to give it precedence for two apps, and they are going to be the Opportunity Organizer Pro Now, these naming of the bundle IDs have to exactly match the naming inside of IT Connect. Or, I'm sorry, iTunes Connect. Opportunity Organizer Pro is LR Opportunity Organizer underscore Pro. No underscore between Opportunity Organizer and Pro. Next one I'm going to do is Project Organizer Pro. No underscores anywhere in that. This is the list. This is your guide for your product IDs for your in-app purchases. You need to make sure you match these things or you'll have bugs. You need to have the else on the Opportunity Organizer. So now it should not go into two apps. It should only choose one app, and the precedence is Project Organizer Pro, Opportunity Organizer Pro, Student Organizer Pro, and Class Organizer Pro. And it should match this list: Project Organizer Pro, Opportunity Organizer Pro, Student Organizer Pro, and Class Organizer Pro. And then if it's iOS 9, this app only supports iOS 9 and above at this point. So if it's iOS 9 on the iPad 2 or iPad 3, it's not going to do anything. The icon's not going to change. This behavior will not work. Those devices were all left behind on iOS 9, and this functionality was introduced in iOS 10. And I have some leftover code here. Get rid of some of our technical debt. Next step is we're going to go into the bundle ID, or into the plist file, and add these icons. This little filter down at the bottom can help you try to keep your head on straight. Okay, so now we're going to do the Project Organizer Pro and the Opportunity Organizer Pro icons, which are not listed yet. So click here, hit the plus, add app icon, needs to be a dictionary, create a sub element, that didn't quite work right. I have to click on the triangle, then click on the plus. That's what I expected. That needs to be an array. Click on the triangle, hit the plus, wait for it, or click it again, or just wait for it. It's thinking about it. Let's try it again. Third time's a charm. Okay. This one was the clock post sunset. That's the name of the icon. This is the name that you reference in the code, app icon POP. Now we need to add that extra flag there. UI pre-rendered icon. It's a Boolean. And we can leave that as no. Now let's do the Opportunity Organizer Pro. There needs to be a dictionary. Hit the triangle. Hit the plus. Work the first time. Needs to be an array list or array. Hit the triangle. Hit the plus. That worked the first time. Okay, so now it's going to be the Opportunity Organizer icon, which I called Opportunity Pro. Let's just bounce back to the directory. Yeah, that's what I called it. Do not add the PNG extension, because then you have to specify, like, every file name. Let the functionality of that Apple's built add the @2x and the @3x to the file name, and it'll automatically pick the correct file size for the platform that you're on. Okay, add that flag. And we'll leave it as no. Save. Very important. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the default is Project Organizer, and that's handled by the primary icon clock post 5. So we've got all 7 covered here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Time to test. For the Opportunity Organizer Pro, it seems to be a consistent theme that I have to delete the app, so let's do that. App's deleted. Next step, log out of the App Store. All logged out. Okay, so now we run the app. And because I didn't kill the app before I deleted it, we're going to have problems. Hate when this happens. Okay, I'm gonna restart the device and kill Xcode and start everything over. We deleted and reinstalled the app. Now I'm going to test it with restoring the purchases with the test ID that's purchased Opportunity Organizer Pro. Okay, now the app is Opportunity Organizer Pro. So when I go back to the main screen, it should trigger the app icon change. Or crash. Alright, that wasn't a crash of the app, that was a crash of the Xcode debugger. Doesn't affect the behavior of the app. The app is changing the icon, but it appears to be the wrong icon. Let's check. Yes, it is indeed the wrong icon. Okay, let's check a few things here. First, we'll check the info plist file. We're looking for the Opportunity Organizer Pro, and that's Opportunity Pro, OOP. Now we'll go to the code. And it's in the paid version. That's the free version, this is the paid. Appears to be correct. Let's put some debugging in here. Seems to be picking up the OO, not the OOP. Let's check the app icon. It's the gold version. Gold. Let's check the free version. And that's Opportunity Organizer. Okay, let's check the debugging statements. Oh, debugger crashed. Okay. Maybe this ID didn't purchase it yet. I'm going to try a different ID. Well, it's appearing that it has purchased it. It's saying that it did purchase it. It's going through this logic over and over again. It's not hitting the guard, so it's not saying that it's hitting this code. Okay. Now it is working. It's changing the icon to the gold. It didn't do anything different. We just repeated the same test, and now it's the gold app. Exact same behavior, different results. Okay. It had purchased the other app as well. The free version was purchased by that ID and the paid version, so maybe it does change the icon twice. Very interesting behavior. Okay, I'm going to log out of the App Store for the next test. I'm going to test the Project Organizer Pro version. Sign out. Reinstall the app. Okay, I'm going to restore. This is the free version, the container. Restore purchases with a test ID that's purchased the Project Organizer Pro. Okay, now this is the Pro version. Okay, now when I return to the main screen, it's going to hit the logic that changes the app icon. And now this is the clock post, but it's the clock post with the sunset, which is the page version of the icon. If I go to disk, the icon on disk is now changed, and it's the Pro version.